The massive alien vessel emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Sol's heliopause, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Commander Kai Zhang watched the feed from Earth's hidden Kuiper Belt Observatory, her expression neutral despite the historic moment unfolding before her. The Galactic Concordat had finally arrived, just as humanity had predicted they would. Temporal alignment confirmed. Lieutenant James Chen reported from his station. They've emerged exactly when our quantum probability engines calculated they would. Surveillance drones are in position and cloaked. Kai nodded, her augmented eyes processing multiple data streams simultaneously. For 3 centuries, humanity had prepared for this moment, while the rest of the galaxy saw Earth as a struggling civilization barely managing primitive rocket technology and dealing with climate crisis. Reality was far different. They're broadcasting first contact protocols on all standard frequencies, James announced. Standard Concordat Peaceful Approach Package. Translation matrices are processing now. The message that filled their quantum screens was exactly what they'd expected. A carefully crafted diplomatic greeting designed to appear benevolent while establishing clear technological superiority. The Concordat had used similar approaches on dozens of emerging civilizations before. Begin Operation Looking Glass, Kai commanded. Across the solar system, carefully maintained antiquated satellites and space stations shifted into predetermined positions. Earth's apparent technological level had to appear exactly right. Advanced enough to be useful, primitive enough to be unthreatening. Deep within the lunar facility designated Mirror Base, Dr. Elena Santos reviewed the final modifications to humanity's carefully crafted response. The quantum AI systems had spent decades perfecting the right mix of excitement, fear, and cautious optimism that would characterize a species making its first contact with advanced alien life. Neural pattern analysis confirms the response will read as authentic, Elena reported through the quantum link. The Concordat's empaths won't detect any deception. We're ready to transmit. What the Concordat couldn't know was that humanity had discovered the ruins of an ancient civilization on Mars 3 centuries ago. Those ruins had contained both a warning about the galaxy's true nature and the technological keys to humanity's quantum leap forward. Instead of announcing themselves to the galaxy, humanity had chosen patience and preparation. The alien vessel launched its first probe toward Earth, its sensors scanning for signs of advanced technology. It would find exactly what humanity wanted it to find. A civilization just beginning to establish a permanent lunar presence, struggling with its first Mars colonies, and taking its first tentative steps toward nuclear fusion power. Hidden beneath quantum fields that made them invisible to even the most advanced Concordat sensors, humanity's true achievements waited. Vast city complexes on Mars housed billions. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn contained automated manufacturing facilities that could produce fleets of warships in days. And throughout the outer solar system, quantum probability engines calculated possible futures with unprecedented accuracy. They're responding to our transmission, James reported. The neural analysis indicates they're pleased. They think we're perfect for their needs. Kai allowed herself a small smile. The Concordat, like many advanced civilizations, had developed a sophisticated system for incorporating new species into their federation. They would offer technology, knowledge, and protection, all in exchange for resources and strategic positioning. It was a careful dance of soft power and subtle coercion that had worked countless times before. Launch the welcome delegation, Kai ordered. Make sure they're properly handicapped. The small group of ships that would greet the Concordat vessel were masterpieces of deception, advanced enough to impress, primitive enough to reassure. Their crews were among humanity's finest actors, their neural patterns carefully modified to prevent any telepathic species from detecting their true capabilities. As the delegation launched from Earth's orbital station, Kai opened a secure quantum channel to the Solar Council. Phase 1 is proceeding as calculated. The Concordat believes they found another primitive species to guide into their federation. They have no idea they've just made contact with humanity's front door. The response from the council was immediate. Maintain the deception. Let them think they're the teachers. We've waited 3 centuries to understand the true power dynamics of the galaxy. Now we'll learn everything we need to know from the inside. Kai watched as humanity's carefully crafted theatrical performance began. On screens across the solar system, billions of humans observed through quantum links as their species began its greatest act, playing the role of an emerging civilization while hiding the fact that they had already surpassed many of their would-be mentors. The true first contact was yet to come, but when it did, humanity would be ready. 300 years of preparation had taught them patience. The galaxy would learn about humanity's true capabilities only when humanity chose to reveal them. And that day was coming sooner than the Concordat could possibly imagine. The Concordat's diplomatic vessel Starweaver glided into Earth orbit with the fluid grace of advanced gravitic technology. Ambassador Zixtal stood on the bridge, their bioluminescent patterns shifting with careful calculation as they watched the blue planet below. Everything about this first contact was proceeding according to standard protocols, yet something nagged at the edges of their consciousness. In the hidden command center beneath Olympus Mons, Alina Santos monitored the quantum feeds from thousands of cloaked surveillance drones surrounding the alien ship. They're running deep scans of our orbital infrastructure, she reported to the Solar Council, paying particular attention to our primitive satellite network. Let them look. Counselor Marcus Way responded, his holographic form shimmering with quantum-encrypted data. Our ancestors spent centuries building this facade. Every piece of visible technology tells exactly the story we want them to believe. The Concordat's delegation prepared to descend to Earth's surface for the first official meeting. They'd chosen New York as their landing site, impressed by humanity's efforts to preserve their coastal cities against rising seas. Efforts that were, unknown to them, entirely theatrical. Ambassador Zixtal's personal assistant, third analyst Vector, compiled their preliminary report. The humans show remarkable adaptability, they noted. Their response to climate challenges suggests potential for rapid technological advancement under proper guidance. Recommended classification: Category 3 Developing Civilization. Prime candidate for accelerated integration. Kai Zhang, now playing the role of Earth's chief diplomatic officer, waited at the designated landing zone with an honor guard of carefully selected military personnel. Each soldier's neural patterns had been modified to project exactly the right mix of awe and determination that the Concordat would expect from a species making its first extraterrestrial contact. The alien delegation emerged from their shuttle in a display of advanced technology carefully calculated to impress a primitive species. Their environmental suits shimmed with energy fields, and their translator devices projected holographic interfaces that would have seemed like magic to the civilization they thought they were meeting. "Welcome to Earth," Kai announced, her words carried by both conventional radio and the Concordat's advanced translators. "We are honored by your presence and eager to learn from your wisdom." Every word had been crafted by quantum AIs to strike the perfect balance between respect and dignity. Deep within the Martian quantum complexes, humanity's true technological achievements continued their work undetected. Probability engines refined their calculations of possible futures, while manufacturing facilities prepared for contingencies that the Concordat couldn't imagine. The ancient ruins that had led to humanity's great leap forward remained hidden beneath layers of security that even humanity's apparent benefactors couldn't penetrate. "Your species shows remarkable promise," Zixtal announced through their translator. "The Concordat offers friendship and guidance as you take your first steps into the galactic community." Their neural patterns registered genuine benevolence. They truly believed they were helping a younger species advance. But as the diplomatic dance continued, Vector's subtle concerns grew stronger. "Ambassador," they communicated privately, "I've noticed peculiarities in the humans' development pattern. Their technological progression doesn't quite match standard models." "Explain," Zixtal commanded, their bioluminescence shifting to patterns of focused attention. "Their space technology seems precisely primitive," Vector continued, "as if each advancement was carefully measured. and their response to our arrival. There's an unusual consistency to their neural patterns. In the quantum-shielded chambers of Mirror Base, Alina monitored the exchange through surveillance systems that the Concordat's best technology couldn't detect. They're starting to notice discrepancies, she reported to the Council. The third analyst is more perceptive than our models predicted. Proceed with Operation Blind Spot, Counselor Wei ordered. Let's give them something else to focus on. Within hours, Earth's primitive detection systems reported unusual activity in the Kuiper Belt, exactly where humanity's quantum probability engines had calculated they should look. The Concordat's sensors quickly confirmed the presence of another alien vessel, this one belonging to their rivals, the Hegemony. Unfortunate timing, Zixtal commented to Kai, their patterns showing carefully controlled concern. Please be assured that the Concordat will protect Earth's interests in any diplomatic confrontations. We trust in your experience, Kai responded, her neural patterns radiating exactly the right mix of concern and gratitude. Behind her carefully crafted expression, she knew that the detected ship was nothing more than an elaborate hologram created by humanity's quantum field projectors. The game had entered its next phase. As the Concordat's attention turned to their political rivals, humanity's true preparations continued in silence. They had centuries of experience in keeping secrets, and they would reveal them only when the time was right. In the vastness of the solar system, humanity's hidden empire waited, watching and learning. The stars might be silent, but they held humanity's truth, a truth that would reshape the galaxy when it finally emerged from the shadows. The quantum probability engines buried deep beneath Europa's ice predicted this moment with 99% accuracy. Third analyst Vector stood before the Concordat's High Council, their bioluminescent patterns pulsing with urgency as they presented their findings about Earth. The inconsistencies cannot be ignored. Vector's report resonated through the quantum-encrypted transmission. Their technological progression follows too perfect a curve. Their responses to our presence are too measured. Even their failures seem precisely calibrated. In the hidden chambers of Mirror Base, Alina Santos watched the transmission through systems that the Concordat didn't know existed. They're starting to unravel the edges of our deception, she reported to the Solar Council. The probability engines gave us 3 weeks before this moment. They were off by only 6 hours. Then we perceived a phase Omega. Counselor Wei declared, his quantum-encrypted avatar showing no emotion. Activate the Lazarus Protocol. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden empire began to stir. Beneath the surfaces of Mars, Europa, Titan, and dozens of other celestial bodies, vast manufacturing complexes awakened from their centuries-long slumber. The time for absolute secrecy was ending. Now began the era of controlled revelation. Ambassador Zixtal found themselves in an increasingly difficult position. The Hegemony ship in the Kuiper Belt had vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared, but not before transmitting signals that hinted at knowledge of Earth's true nature. We must accelerate the integration process, they argued before their superiors. Earth's potential makes it too valuable to risk losing to our rivals. They had no way of knowing that both the ship and its transmissions were elaborate fabrications, designed by humanity's quantum AIs to push the Concordat exactly where humanity wanted them. Your concerns are noted, Vector. High Speaker Nixel responded to the third analyst's report, but your evidence remains circumstantial. Earth's development, while unusual, falls within acceptable parameters for a Category 3 civilization. In her role as Earth's chief diplomatic officer, Kai Zhang continued the performance of her life. The Concordat's guidance has already proven invaluable, she announced during a public ceremony celebrating the first month of contact. With their help, we've made more progress in fusion technology than in the previous decade. The fusion advances were real, but carefully measured, obsolete technology that humanity had mastered centuries ago, repackaged to appear as new discoveries. Each breakthrough was calculated to strengthen the Concordat's belief in their own importance while drawing attention away from signs of humanity's true capabilities. But Vector refused to let go of their suspicions. Their investigation led them to Earth's lunar bases, where they discovered something that the probability engines hadn't predicted: a single quantum fluctuation that shouldn't have existed in a primitive society's technology. "We have a situation." Elena's quantum encrypted message reached the Solar Council. The third analyst found traces of our quantum shielding during their lunar inspection. The probability engines calculate a 78% chance they'll recognize its significance. "Perfect," Counselor Wei responded, surprising Elena. "Implement the revelation cascade. It's time to show them exactly what they're meant to see." Throughout the solar system, carefully prepared quantum signatures began to appear. Like breadcrumbs leading down a specific path, they suggested capabilities just advanced enough to raise alarms, but not so advanced as to reveal humanity's true power. Vector's discovery sparked a crisis within the Concordat's leadership. Emergency sessions were called. Debates raged about Earth's true nature. Some argued for immediate military intervention, while others insisted on diplomatic solutions. In the midst of this chaos, humanity's quantum probability engines continued their calculations, predicting each reaction with remarkable accuracy. The solar system had become a vast quantum chessboard, and humanity was dozens of moves ahead. "They're mobilizing their nearest battle fleet," James Chen reported from his monitoring station. "Exactly as the probability engines predicted. Estimated arrival time: 72 hours. Kai allowed herself a small smile. "Then it's time for the next phase. Activate the quantum beacons. Let's show them just enough of our true capabilities to make them think twice about military action." Across the solar system, carefully selected quantum technologies began to decloak. Not humanity's true achievements, but impressive enough to shock a civilization that thought they were dealing with primitive rocket scientists. The Concordat was about to learn that humanity wasn't quite as helpless as they had believed. But even this revelation was part of humanity's greater deception. For while the Concordats scrambled to reassess their understanding of Earth, humanity's true technological marvels remained hidden, waiting for the moment when they would truly be needed. The quantum checkmate was approaching, but it wasn't the one the Concordat thought they were facing. 3 centuries of preparation had led to this moment, and humanity was ready to reveal the first of many carefully crafted layers of truth. The Martian dust storm raged outside the ancient ruins, but within the quantum-shielded chambers, Elena Santos stood in perfect stillness. Holographic displays showed the Concordat battle fleet approaching the solar system, their weapons primed for a show of force against what they believed was a deceptive primitive species. 3 centuries ago, our ancestors found this place. Elena spoke to Ambassador Zixtal, who stood frozen in shock at what the chambers revealed. "We didn't just find technology here. We found truth." The ambassador's bioluminescent patterns flickered with disbelief as they absorbed the reality around them. The chamber's walls displayed star maps spanning millions of years, showing the rise and fall of countless civilizations. More importantly, they showed the true nature of galactic politics, a cruel cycle of discovery, absorption, and exploitation that had repeated for eons. "Your civilization," Zixtal managed to communicate, their patterns showing profound disturbance. "You've been aware of the galaxy's true nature all along." "We learned from the archive," Elena gestured, and the chamber filled with new holographic displays. "The civilization that built this place. They called themselves the predecessors. They weren't conquerors or empire builders. They were watchers, observers of the great game that all other species seemed destined to play." In orbit above Mars, the Concordat fleet held position, their sensors detecting quantum technology that shouldn't have existed. But what they could see was merely the outer layer of humanity's defensive capabilities, carefully revealed to give them pause. The predecessors watched civilizations rise, expand, and fall, Elena continued. They saw how advanced species would guide primitive ones, claiming to help while quietly absorbing their resources and strategic positions. They documented every variation of this pattern across 50,000 years. Third analyst Vector, who had been brought to the chamber alongside their ambassador, finally found their voice. The inconsistencies in your development. You were never primitive at all. We were. Kaijong stepped from a quantum portal, her form solidifying from energy patterns that the Concordat science had yet to master. 3 centuries ago, we were exactly what you thought we were. A species struggling with rocket technology and climate change. Then we found this place. The chamber's displays shifted, showing humanity's first discovery of the ruins. Our ancestors made a choice, Kai explained. Instead of rushing to announce our discovery to the galaxy, we would learn. Prepare. Watch as the predecessors had watched. In the Solar Council's secure quantum chamber, Counselor Wei monitored the exchange. The probability engines had calculated a 91% chance that this controlled revelation would force the Concordat to reevaluate their entire approach to Earth. The remaining 9% probability led to scenarios they were also prepared for. The archive gave us more than technology, Elena continued. It gave us perspective. We saw how the hegemony rose to challenge Concordat dominance. We watched the Zarkax Confederation's failed attempt to break free from both powers. We learned from every success and failure in galactic history. Zixtal's patterns showed a deeper realization. The predecessors, they didn't just vanish, did they? No, Kai confirmed. They chose to step back from the galaxy's endless power struggles. They seeded archives like this one throughout the galaxy, waiting for species that might choose a different path. The chamber's displays showed new information, evidence of other archives on thousands of worlds, most still undiscovered. We're not the only ones who found an archive, Elena revealed. But we might be the first to truly understand its purpose. Vector's analytical mind raced ahead to the implications. Your entire technological development. It was orchestrated to appear natural while hiding your true capabilities. But why maintain the deception once we arrived? Because the archive showed us something else. Kai activated a new display sequence, something that changes everything we thought we knew about the galaxy's future. The holographic images shifted to show astronomical data that made both Concordat representatives freeze in patterns of shock. The data suggested something massive approaching the galaxy, something that would make the endless political struggles between species seem insignificant. The predecessors didn't just watch political conflicts, Elena explained. They were preparing for something bigger, something that requires unity, not conquest. Something that humanity has spent 3 centuries preparing to face. In orbit, the Concordat fleet received new orders from their High Council. The probability engines had predicted this too. The moment when the Concordat would realize that military action against Earth would be both futile and potentially disastrous. We revealed this chamber to you, Kai stated, because our quantum engines calculate that this is the optimal moment to begin the galaxy's transformation. The Concordat faces a choice now. Continue the old patterns of control and exploitation, or join us in preparing for what's coming. The ancient chamber hummed with power as it revealed more of its secrets. Humanity's greatest deception was ending, but an even greater challenge was just beginning. The galaxy would need to change, and humanity's long preparation had all been leading to this moment. The quantum displays within the Martian chamber flickered with images of the approaching threat, a vast darkness moving between the galaxies, consuming energy and information in ways that defied known physics. High Speaker Nixel, now present via quantum projection, watched in stunned silence as 3 centuries of human preparation revealed their true purpose. We call it the Void Current, Kai explained, her voice steady as she showed the combined leadership of the Concordat what humanity had been preparing for. The predecessors tracked its movement across millions of years. It doesn't just destroy civilizations, it erases them from existence itself. In orbit around every major body in the solar system, humanity's hidden defenses finally reveal themselves. Not the partial revelations they had shown before, but their true capabilities. Quantum shield generators larger than cities emerged from dimensional pockets. Fleets of ships that bent space itself appeared from behind veils of probability. Your civilization. Nexol's quantum projection flickered with patterns of awe. You've advanced far beyond what even our most radical theories suggested possible. Because we had to. Elena stepped forward, activating new displays in the chamber. The archive showed us that every previous civilization followed the same pattern: expansion, competition, eventual stagnation. None were ready when the void current reached them. The predecessors themselves barely survived their encounter with it. The chamber filled with new data, the true extent of humanity's hidden empire. Vast networks of quantum computers running probability calculations across dimensional planes, manufacturing facilities that could rebuild entire fleets in days, energy production systems that harnessed the fundamental forces of reality itself. What you've seen until now, Kai continued, was merely the outer layer of our preparation. We revealed it slowly, carefully, to avoid shocking the galaxy's power structure too quickly. But time grows short. Vector, their analytical mind racing, processed the implications. The disappearance of the Zarkax Confederation 5,000 years ago. It wasn't political dissolution as our histories claim. No, Elena confirmed. They were the first in our galaxy to encounter the void current. The predecessors recorded it all. That's why they began seeding their archives, hoping that some species would find them and understand in time. Above Mars, the Concordat fleet received new readings that their sensors struggled to process. Humanity's quantum shield network was activating at full power for the first time, revealing defensive capabilities that transformed the entire solar system into an impregnable fortress. We've spent centuries preparing. Counselor Way's quantum projection joined the gathering. Not just technologically, but culturally. Our deception wasn't about hiding from the galaxy's political powers. It was about having the time to build what's necessary for survival. The chamber's displays showed new data: the void current's approach vector, its acceleration, its estimated time of arrival. 3 decades, Kai announced. That's how long we have before it reaches the galaxy's edge. The old patterns of competition and conquest must end. We need unity, not dominance. Nixel's patterns showed deep understanding. This is why you revealed yourselves now, not because we discovered your deception, but because the timeline demands it. Yes, Elena confirmed. Our quantum probability engines calculated that this moment, this exact convergence of events and revelations, provided the highest chance of successfully unifying the galaxy's major powers. The chamber systems interfaced with the Concordat's quantum network, sharing data that validated everything humanity claimed. The evidence was undeniable, the threat real, and humanity's preparations more extensive than any civilization had achieved before. We're not seeking to rule, Kai stated firmly. The predecessors showed us that hierarchical power structures always fail against the void current. We're proposing something different. A true alliance of equals, each contributing their unique strengths to the galaxy's defense. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden installations continued to emerge. Research facilities that had conquered physics as the galaxy understood it, training centers that had prepared generations for this moment, and beneath it all, quantum probability engines that had calculated every possible future, finding the path that led to survival. The predecessors left us more than warnings. Elena activated the chamber's final sequence. They left us hope. Their research suggested that the void current could be stopped, not by any one civilization, but by many working in true cooperation. Everything we've done has been leading to this moment. The quantum projections of leaders from across the Concordat showed patterns of decision and resolve. Humanity's revelation had changed everything, not through force or deception, but through preparation and purpose. 3 centuries ago, we found this archive and chose a difficult path. Kai concluded. We hid our advancement not out of fear, but out of necessity. Now we offer everything we've learned, everything we've built, to the galaxy. Not as conquerors or victims, but as equals facing a common threat. As the dust storm raged outside the ancient chamber, the future of the galaxy hung in balance. Humanity's hidden empire had finally emerged, not to dominate, but to unite. The true test, facing the void current, still lay ahead, but for the first time in galactic history, there was real hope for success. The dawn of a new era had arrived, and it began not with conquest, but with cooperation. The galaxy would never be the same.